So today we got to talk about Jim Harbaugh and all that's coming up after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on the step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. Today, want to do a bit about Jim Harbaugh in the wake of this loss to the Indiana Hoosiers. All right, let's start with this. I was born in 1987. I'll say that again. I was born in 1987, which means I was just a few months old the last time Indiana beat Michigan. Now, Indiana is a good football team. They have shown that with the win against Penn State that they probably shouldn't have had, but we got the Penix stretch for them to get that W. With the win against what we thought was probably going to be not the bottom of the barrel Rutgers team, right? Because turns out there are a couple of other teams that actually might be worse than Rutgers this year. Also, going into this, they're in Bloomington. Tom Allen coming off the Hugh Freeze tree. They have things to prove, right? The 9-win Indiana bid is no longer a joke, right? It's on the table. As a matter of fact, if this was not a college football playoff year where the Rose Bowl is featured, we are talking about an Indiana team that would probably get the nod if they were in the Big Ten West because they would probably be the second best team in the Big Ten behind one Ohio State. You remember last year, Wisconsin loses to Ohio State. They end up playing in the Rose Bowl against Oregon and they get beat, in that game. Now, I look at this and I say, is Jim Harbaugh the problem? Is Jim Harbaugh the problem? Making $8 million a year feels like he's overpaid. If you look at his record since he got to Michigan, it's generally been losing to teams that are better than his team. He beats most of the teams that he should. Means that losing to Ohio State, yeah, that's going to continue this year. You're not that good. It means losing to a very good Penn State. Yeah, more or less. Very good Michigan State. More or less. Right? Alabama in the Citrus Bowl. It's a better football team. If you look at how he has fared against almost everybody else, you'll see wins, right? You can bank on Jim Harbaugh these years to get you about 9. And in getting you about 9, making you more than respectable, but not good enough to even represent the Big Ten East in the Big Ten championship game because Ohio State is still there. So if you look at Jim Harbaugh and you say, that man was brought to Michigan to make you competent and then some, get you out of the Brady Hoke wake of trash and into, hey, we're good, we're Michigan men, then he's done his job. But if you're looking at Jim Harbaugh to beat Ohio State, to beat top 10 opponents, top 15 opponents in the case of Indiana, if you're looking at Jim Harbaugh to make Michigan as good as they were during the Lloyd Carr era, perhaps this is not it for you and Michigan because 38-21 in Bloomington is not going to endear you to anybody, even folks that don't have a dog in the fight. Like, I'm not a Michigan fan. I don't genuinely care about them in the way that, like, I got the Oklahoma-Kansas game on right now. That's usually where I'm at when I'm talking about this stuff. And yet, I look at Michigan and I say, is khakis getting on your nerves? Probably. Can you find somebody better than khakis? And on that point, I'm not sure that that's what you get to do, right? I'm not sure you get to ask that question. I mean, somebody will, right? And I'm sure there's money out there to try to buy out Jim Harbaugh. And if you're a fan of that team, you probably want to see somebody else have the job, but who? Who would you get? Because the guys that I think about going there are Buckeyes. Luke Fickell, Marcus Freeman, send them to Michigan. Hello, right? I understand why there's lots of Buckeye fans that are like, that'll never happen. And there's also, the Bo Schembechler quote about Steve Fisher, which is Michigan men coach at Michigan. Do you want to win so badly that you will hire a Buckeye away? Will you want to win so badly that you look at Kerry Combs and say, come coach at Michigan? I'm not sure there's a good answer to that question right now. I do know that being 1-2 with a win against a Minnesota team that got beat by Maryland is not who Michigan is supposed to be. And every year, Michigan tries to talk itself into national championship aspirations in the same way that Texas tried to talk itself into national championship aspirations. And every year, we remind them, you don't have the horses to do that, even if you got the coaching. And this year, it doesn't even look like they got the coaching defensively. Because as good as we want Dax Hill to be, it's because we want Haskins to be. They're getting roasted at corner. Like, I get that Ambry opts out, but, like, you're supposed to be better than that at corner. Give other kids some opportunities out there if that's what you got to do. But the way that you were getting run on and roasted by a Whop Fillure, Mr. Elias D'Angelo Fillmore, can't stand, right? That ain't gonna work. You giving up 342 to Michael Penix Jr., that ain't gonna work. So if nothing else, defensive coordinator is probably gonna change. Josh Gaddis just got there. And I like to think that with Joe Milton, they might get something figured out. I would have loved to see him run with the ball a little bit more against Indiana, try to get that offense going in the right direction. But there are just some passes you got to hit. Like, he had Ronnie Bell wide open in the middle of the field. He just couldn't hit it. You got to hit that as a quarterback at Michigan. But when we talk about Michigan, like, when's the last time we were talking about him being, like, really, really good? It's been a while, right? Got to go back to, like, Mike Hart, Chad Henne. And even then, still Ohio State. So if you're a Michigan fan, ask yourself that question. Do you just want to move on from Jim Harbaugh? Or do you think that you can get somebody better? It's an interesting question. And right now, I don't have an answer for you. It's one that I'm really interested in asking, though, because Jim Harbaugh is the dude that did coach the Niners to a Super Bowl and had one of the best teams in the NFC for a couple of years in there. He's also just kind of, different. And does different make you mad? Does different get on your nerves? These are the questions that I put to Michigan fans. These are the questions I put to anybody that watched that game against Indiana. And let me know what you think in the comments below, because I don't think that we're going to get a good answer to this question until the end of the season. I do know this, though. They still got to play Ohio State, and they got Wisconsin on the calendar, provided Wisconsin is healthy. And by healthy, I mean passing COVID protocols. If they're passing COVID protocols, everybody's going to pick Wisconsin in that game. But if Jim Harbaugh were to beat Wisconsin, do you still want him around? If he beats Ohio State, you're definitely going to keep him around because that's what he was brought in to do. All right. That's it for me. Deuces.